It also reminds me of people who like shove aggressively to the front of the crowd at the right when the headliner starts.
Oh my god, I hate that. We've been to a concert where they did that.
We have. I've been to many concerts.
Multiple, actually. Yeah. Remember we went to Gov Ball?
It's a disgrace. Like, I think it's...
People bum... It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. Like, you have to have respect for your fellow concert goers. Like, come on. It's a knife when they skip you in the karaoke queue. Justin.
BANTS, and it's completely different, but it's still about Brat, so it's not. Geoff.
And welcome to BANTS! Geoff, how are you feeling?
Well, Justin, I did tell you this morning we got to postpone recording because I wasn't feeling well. But I'm feeling great now. Would you like to guess why?
Would I like to guess why? Mm-hmm. It was a brief flu, and now you're over it.
That's a good guess, but the answer is I forgot that I had allergies and did not take an allergy pill, so I woke up and was like, I'm sick. This is terrible. Everything's bad. I was outside all day yesterday sitting in hay and had my windows open all night, and it was just hay fever.
That does happen. My second guess would have been hangover, so I'm glad that it's just allergies.
No hangover. I haven't had enough drinks in a very long time to have a hangover.
Wow, that's good. I feel like I require a very small amount of drinks to have a hangover. Like, it's not the same amount that I need to be drunk.
We're giving elderly.
Yeah, exactly.
Elderly vibes.
It's tough.
That is tough. Anyways, how are you doing? What's going on with you? What's new?
I'm good. It's been a busy week, especially a busy weekend. But yeah, last weekend, Brandy and I were in Chicago for the Chicago Marathon. That was a lot of fun, my first time in Chicago. Brandy, unfortunately, did not do as well as she wanted in the marathon. She had to drop from the race with an injury, so that was a bit of a bummer, but it was still great to see the city.
Did you guys go anywhere fun?
I mean, I had to do a long run in the city, so I did get to see like Millennium Park and, run by the lake, which that was my first time seeing a Great Lake in person.
Okay, I said fun. In
terms of like venues, we did hang out at a friend's place who lived in Hyde Park, and we met up with them after the marathon and, had multiple shots of Malort, which we've discussed on the pod before. Classic Chicago liqueur.
Classic Chicago.
Yeah, but because Brandy was injured after the marathon and she wasn't drinking before, we didn't go out too many places. We did get some Chicago pizza from Pequod's, which I've heard is like not actually Chicago pizza. It's more like a Chicago chain that has similar pizza to deep dish, but it's not quite the same. But it was still really tasty. It was
not quite as deep?
Exactly. So it still looks like a pie from the outside. Chicago deep dish traditionally looks more like an actual pie or like a casserole than like a New York style slice. Pequod's looked like that from the outside, but the crust was like super thick and like fluffy. It was almost like a focaccia. So it's kind of like a grandma style slice that you would get in like a New York pizzeria,
Oh, yeah. Like a Sicilian style.
Yes, yeah. So it's kind of similar to that, but with a lot more sauce. And it was really tasty, so I like that.
They love their sauce in that town. Can't get enough of the stuff.
I mean, it's good. I love tomatoes, as we've discussed many times.
I don't think we ever talked about that.
We also did go to this place called Small Cheval, which has a great burger.
I really like their name.
Yeah. Well, it's a spinoff of Au Cheval, which is like a very nice upscale restaurant, and they have this like spinoff that does burgers and fries. You're familiar with the restaurant?
It's Au Cheval, but yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't know how to pronounce things in French or whatever language that is.
I do, luckily for you. We're going to cut that.
We will not cut that.
Okay, well.
But yeah, so this weekend I was hanging out with some friends here in DC, and yeah, now we're here recording. Very excited about this episode. We're talking about something that we both are really passionate about, which is Charli XCX's album Brat, which was just accompanied by a new remix album that dropped last week. So can't wait to talk about that.
Can't wait. We got to keep it Brat on the pod.
We stay Brat.
Bratum.
Before we get into our hot topics, though, I did want to give one update.
Oh?
Which is that we have received an email from a listener.
Oh.
And thankfully, that listener is not named Jason, so we can all breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh, tell me it's our listener from Germany.
It is also not our listener from Germany.
Okay.
This is a listener and a friend of both of ours, Hannah.
Oh. And
I'll just read the entire email in totality. Hannah did give us permission to share her name.
Let's hear it.
Hello. I want to thank you for your wedding episode. I totally agree that weddings are hot. And quick editor's note here before we get deeper. Hannah was a mutual friend of both of ours who asked us in that episode whether she should attend a coworker's wedding where she only knows the bride and the groom and nobody else.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I definitely took your advice and wanted to provide you with a brief update. I am now post 2 coworkers' weddings, so 2 different weddings now she's went to with coworkers. The first wedding was an entire weekend event. I probably could have, or more like should have, skipped the first night. I didn't know anyone there and thought I showed up and got free food at the wrong place because the bride and groom were over 1.5 hours late.
Oh, shit. Tacky vibes.
But oh well, it was great people watching. They had guests from all around the world. The actual wedding night itself was so fun. The people there were very nice and beautiful.
The fancy cars. The women in the caviar. You know who we are. Weddings all over the world. Remember that song?
No.
It's women all over the world, but okay. Never mind. Point for me.
Forgot where I was. Okay.
Sorry.
I also learned about the Nigerian tradition of spraying at weddings. It was lovely to get to meet my work BFFs, friends, and family. I also got to be a tourist in Plymouth, Massachusetts for a day, per Justin's recommendation. She says that the Rock, the Plymouth Rock, was very mid/meh.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it in person?
No, I mean, I kind of just assumed it was a rock.
It really is just a relatively small rock at that. It's very underwhelming. They really oversell that.
Feels like I don't know what I expected type situation, you know?
Mm-hmm. There's a great video on TikTok right now of these women in the UK who are driving by Stonehenge. One of them goes, "Is that it? Couple of rocks." It's great.
Hannah also mentions that the second coworker wedding was also really fun. She did know some fellow coworkers there, so she got to be more social, and she says that was great. Then she closes. She says, "Thank you both for your weekly banter. I have learned so much from you. I become more cool and hip each week, all because of you folks. Love you both, Hannah." And then she said, "P.S. Can you please thesaurus another word for zeitgeist? You both use it often, and how about we change it up?"
Shan't. Thanks anyway. But Hannah, I'm so glad that you're enjoying listening. I think that's great. And I'm so glad you went to the wedding.
We really do use zeitgeist pretty often. But there's not like a good word to substitute for that. Like maybe
exactly.
Like the culture.
Cultural atmosphere, the culture. I'm pretty sure that one's trademarked by Las Culturistas, so I don't think we can say that without paying them.
All right, so should we get into some hot topics?
Let's get into it.
So obviously we're going to talk about Brat today, but before we do that, we do have a Brat-related news item that I would love to talk about. So Geoff, you probably know more about this than I do. Yeah, why don't you give a little bit of the intro?
Well, you know the Apple dance. Everyone knows it. Everyone's seen it on TikTok.
I know it. I love it.
Everyone loves it. It's a fun little bop. So Charlie is on tour with Troye Sivan, as we all know, their Sweat tour. And during Charlie's performance of Apple, she always has a part where she puts a camera out in the audience and films notable concert attendees, let's say guests.
Right.
Doing the Apple dance. And in her recent stop in LA for night 2 of their Sweat tour, Brittany Broski and a bunch of other LA influencers were in the audience, and Charlie put the cameras on them to do the Apple dance. While Brittany Broski was doing the Apple dance, some aged twink came out of nowhere off frame and pushed her right out of the shot.
Wait, hold on.
Yes?
Quick question.
Yes.
Who is Brittany Broski?
You need to put some respect on Brittany Broski's name.
I don't know who this is.
That's what you need to do. Yes, you do. Kombucha Girl.
Oh, like the meme.
Yes, like okay. The meme. I don't understand how you don't know who Brittany Broski is. She's one of Charlie's friends and favorite influencer.
Okay, I'm sorry. Not a true fan. Not a real fan.
You call yourself a Charlieologist. You think you're an angel, Justin, but you're not. You're the devil. You're the devil in disguise.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Brittany Broski was pushed off frame by some random aged twink, and he came looking at the camera with crazy eyes. Think he was probably bumping that, if you know what I mean.
It was like an insane video. I have seen the video. Yeah, he looks
deranged.
Out of it. Yeah, deranged is a good word.
And you know what? I just want to say to all the white gays who might be listening right now, you're not always the main character. It's not always about you. We don't need to be pushing people out of the way. Charlie does not belong exclusively to you. Charlie's for the culture.
It reminds me actually of an earlier video that I saw from an earlier Sweat Tour stop where I think it was like the creator of the Apple Dance was performing like solo for the cam.
She was.
And then there was like a woman who was not like invited to be recorded that just like kind of ran in out of excitement and started doing the dance, right?
Yep.
And a lot of Charlie fans like on Reddit and whatever were like shitting all over this random woman who jumped on being like, this is not your moment, like blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, not your moment.
I mean, I do agree it's not her moment. I think it was rude. But I can imagine being in that headspace
So
like at a Charlie concert.
So rude.
But like, you know, you're drunk, you're having a great time, you're trying to party, right? And you see like, oh, they're doing the apple dance over there. Like, let me get in on that, you know?
Yeah.
I can understand that more.
I can understand that.
Yeah, then I can understand this guy who, like, there's a big group of people and he literally physically shoves somebody out of the way to get on camera. Like, that is unacceptable behavior.
He saw the stage and said, now's my time.
Right.
But the gag is that it was not.
It was absolutely
This reminds me of our friend Sarah when she jumped onto the stage during a drag queen performance at a bar we were at.
Yeah.
That didn't go over so hot.
Oh, man. I mean, it went over, like, fine. It could have been worse. It could have been I think that the drag queen was luckily very gracious about it. Like, she was like, please get off the stage. Like, she was very stern about it, but she could have gotten, like, angry, I feel like, and it would have been righteous anger. So I'm glad that she was, like,
righteous gemstones.
Sure.
Yes, I agree. A lot of connections. Anyways, Brittany Broski, hope you're doing okay. That was tough to watch. I mean, it was kind of funny to watch, but it was tough to watch. Not funny if you're Brittany Broski. You know what's not funny? Putting your hands on people.
You can't be touching people like that. You can't especially be shoving people like that. Even like, you know, at a concert, sometimes you're rubbing shoulders or whatever. Like, that's expected. But like,
rubbing shoulders, bumping uglies.
Yeah, that's normal. That's fine. But like, I think that this behavior is not fine, not acceptable. You can't be bumping into people or like.
He didn't bump. He like fully ran like a fucking linebacker and like clotheslined this woman out of frame.
On camera. Where was the thought? Like, you are being recorded doing this.
There were no thoughts behind those eyes.
It also reminds me of people who like shove aggressively to the front of the crowd at the like right when the headliner starts.
Oh my god, I hate that. We've been to a concert where they did that.
We have. I've been to many concerts.
Multiple, actually. Yeah. Remember we went to Gov Ball?
It's a disgrace. Like, I think it's...
People bum... It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. Like, you have to have respect for your fellow concert goers. Like, come on.
We need rules for concert going. Oh, why don't we make them right now?
We'll have a hot or not about it.
Nonsense. Let's do it right now. What's
okay, sure.
Rule for concert going?
I
have one. I'll start. Dress appropriately. Outdoor concert, outdoor shoes. Outdoor concert, we're not wearing pencil heels. That's not a thing. Oh, my heel's stuck. I don't feel bad for you. Where did you think you were going today?
When did this happen to you? Because
I've seen it happen. It's never happened to me because I don't wear heeled shoes, generally speaking, but certainly not pencil heels. But I've seen it happen. You know, I feel the same way about weddings. You ever go to an outdoor wedding and you see people struggling to walk because their heels are digging in the grass? What are you doing? You knew where you were going. This wasn't a surprise.
Noting this internally for my wedding, because I have to, maybe I'll put a note on the website or something like that.
You gotta put a note on the website. Yeah. You guys have a day of coordinator?
Yeah, we do.
Are they helping beforehand or just day of?
They're helping beforehand, but not this far out.
Good.
Yeah.
They'll remind you to put it on the invitation if they're any good.
Okay.
So dress appropriately. And by the way, dress appropriately means we're not wearing big hats at a concert. I know. People are out here, the country folk, they love to wear their cowboy hats. Folks going to Beyonce show love to wear their cowboy hats. I wore one, but guess what? I took it off when the show started. We're not doing anything to obstruct people's view. I'm not a very tall person, so I, wanted to make sure, though, that everyone around me could see, and I took the hat off. That's what I mean by dress appropriately.
I agree with that.
That's rule number 1.
Can I give it rule number 2?
Yeah, of course. Go for it. You can give as many rules as you like, Justin. Point for you.
Thank you. Wow, that's so kind. I think that people should respect other concert goers' physical space. And that means, like,
yeah,
don't be creepy and dance up on them if they don't want to. Don't be, like, throwing elbows and arms left and right all the time. You know what I mean?
Throwing elbows. What's that about?
I'm thinking especially, like, at rock shows. There's an etiquette to mosh pits. It should be like an opt-in situation where, like, you go to a rock show, you expect there to maybe be some moshing occurring. But if you want to not participate, you should be able to exit that situation, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course I do. Nobody wants to be in a mosh pit. You seem like you probably were moshing back in the days. You ever go to one of those van tours?
I never went to the Warped Tour.
I
never went to Warped Tour, but I have moshed before.
Of course. You give me mosh vibes.
I enjoy participating, but, like...
This is how I know you're straight.
I think that most people in the rock community that are, like, at these concerts, and, like, I think it's, like, especially in, like, metal and punk communities,
Yeah! Fuck the man!
Those communities are serious about etiquette when it comes to moshing. Like, if somebody gets knocked down or, like, falls, it's like everything stops. You pick that person up. You get them out of the mosh pit.
They get up again? You're never going to keep them down?
Wrong kind of rock music there, Jeff.
All right.
Imagine moshing to Chumbawamba.
I'd like to
Tub
see
Thumper.
It.
I'd do it.
Thumpa.
I'd do it. But yeah, they make a concerted effort to like make sure that people are safe and they pick them up if they fall down, you know, so that nobody's getting trampled, right? But there are, of course, situations where you're not respecting people's space, like we talked about earlier, where you're pushing through the crowd to get to the front when the headliner comes on. That's not acceptable.
That's totally rude. I hate that. By the way, here's rule number 3. Don't bum rush the fucking barricades. That's not fun for anybody, including the people who are already standing there, who then you like kind of elbow your way in and you're pushing them around. It's unsafe behavior. If you want to be at the barricade, get there fucking early.
Yeah, like just
buy your general admission and get there early.
Have some forethought, you know? Or just spend the extra like $300 and go VIP if you really want to.
Truly. What about concert prices?
Well, they're not good, Jeff.
They're really bad. I wanted to see Miss Sabrina Carpenter when she came to Connecticut a couple weeks ago. I said, I'll go for a balcony ticket. I don't need to be that close. Who am I? I don't need to be on the floor with these like teenage girls and their moms and dads who they drag there. I don't need to be mistaken for a chaperone. So I said I'll get a balcony ticket. Guess how much that ticket was, Justin?
$150?
Starting at $339 for Sabrina Carpenter. Excuse me, what the fuck are you saying?
Wait, that can't be. Wait, were you getting it secondhand?
Those were the tickets that were left on Ticketmaster.
That's wild.
They were not resale tickets.
That's wild.
That is what was left. I could not believe it. I was absolutely shocked, honey. I was in tears almost.
Oof.
It was crazy. Who has that kind of money to dump on for a balcony seat?
I'm not doing that for a balcony seat.
This is not Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's
This
tough.
is not the second coming of the Beatles or a Beyonce show. We need to be very realistic. We need to be very for real.
I do want to speak in defense of, I mean, I don't know about Sabrina Carpenter in particular, but I do know that like the cost of touring right now is very high for artists, and like the cut that Ticketmaster / Live Nation often takes from those ticket price sales is obscene. So I know that it's also very hard from the artist perspective, where it's just hard to tour. Like a lot of people have canceled their tours. We talked about the J-Lo tour cancellation early on in this podcast. It's just tough for artists. So I understand why they're that high.
For them. But guess what? Guess what I don't feel bad for?
Ticketmaster
Live Nation. Fuck all of you motherfuckers. You're a bunch of crooks. Where's Bernie Sanders? Because forget the banks. We need to break up the concert tickets.
Well, Jeff, I believe that the Department of Justice has already sued Ticketmaster Live Nation as an antitrust suit. So we'll see if they get broken up. Fingers crossed.
Okay, we'll do that. Then we got to break up the banks. Because that's definitely something worth fighting for.
Agreed.
Okay, well, that was my third rule. Do you have another, or do you think 3 is good?
I think 3 is good. You know, feel free to write in or let us know if you have any more questions about concert etiquette.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more.
Okay.
This is kind of for anything in general, I would say, but especially concerts. Especially outdoor concerts. But I have experienced this indoors, too. We're not smoking at the concert. You can smoke anywhere you'd like to. Smokers have more agency in this world than any other group.
Is that true?
Even protected classes. They smoke everywhere. In the car, on their street, in their apartments, even though we allegedly live in a non-smoking building. I'm talking to my neighbor who lives on the second floor in apartment 6. Albie, you motherfucker. Fuck you. Poisoning my goddamn air. Preventing me from keeping my front windows open because... Oh, I'm sitting here enjoying a nice breeze, and guess what? Suddenly, cigarettes! Fuck you, bitch. And guess what? My air should not be poisoned by your bad habits, motherfuckers. I don't care if we're outside in an open-air concert. We're certainly not doing it indoors because it's a fire hazard as well. But do not fucking light up a nasty-ass cigar. I don't even want you smoking joints when you can vape, when you can do other things. You can take edibles. That is so fucking rude and disrespectful of everybody else.
Can't wait for this clip to be played at a lawsuit at some point in the future.
Good. I hope it happens. I will stand by what I've said.
Yeah, this might be a controversial one, especially about joints, because I feel like I've been to a lot of concerts in DC recently where people are just like openly lighting up, like inside.
Boo! Boo! Fucking boo! This is so rude.
I'm trying not to have a double standard with like cigarettes and joints, but I do like find the smell of cigarettes like way more offensive than the smell of joints.
Forget just the smell. I don't need your nasty ass carcinogens.
Yeah, that's right. That too. Yeah, exactly.
Nicotine.
Like I think I have all this stuff in my head about cigarettes specifically. Yeah, I agree with you.
We're not doing it. Yeah, and not in this day and age where you can drink to get high, you can eat something to get high, you could do like a vapor which like dissipates much more quickly and doesn't thickly collect over everyone's, fucking heads. Those are much better alternatives to like lighting up a fucking joint, and so much better than lighting up a fucking cigarette or cigar.
You're right. We're not in the era where
fucking nasty.
You would have to like slip a joint into your boot to sneak it into the festival.
No.
There's many options now,
I do know, Justin. That's why I feel very strongly about that. Rule number 4. We're not smoking in here.
Okay, let's close our topic on concerts. This was a great conversation.
Don't tell me what to do.
But let's get into some television. Jeff.
No, I don't want to get into that. Wait, actually, I just had my own original idea. I want to talk about TV.
Okay, I'm down for that. Jeff, what kind of TV do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about one thing in particular.
And that is?
One of my favorite shows, Shrinking, on Apple TV Plus has just come back for season 2.
I remember you recommending season 1 of this show to me.
I did. Did you watch it?
I did not watch it.
Wow, Justin doesn't take my suggestions seriously. Point for me, minus a point for Justin.
Minus a point?
Yeah, that's right. I make up the rules as we go.
Negative point.
That is tough for you.
I have trouble finding the time to watch TV. I'm currently watching Shogun for hopefully a future episode. Loving it so far.
Are you loving it?
Yes, it's very, very good.
Oh,
but never got a chance to watch Shrinking. It's on my list.
I live in feudal Japan?
But yeah, tell me about Shrinking. What's the premise?
Oh, so you don't even remember my recommendation. Interesting. Another point for me. Shrinking is a story about a psychiatrist who's played by, or psychologist. We'll just say a therapist. That's a little bit more broad. Anyway, Jason Segel plays a therapist whose wife has recently tragically died, and he is stuck raising their teenage daughter as a single father, and he's relying on his neighbors and colleagues for support. And it's just about the interpersonal relationships that he has with all those different people.
Interesting. So it's like...
It's a great show.
I know Jason Segel's in it.
Feel good show. Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford is in it? Is that right?
Harrison Ford, Jessica Williams, Michael Urie, Lily Rabe, and Krista Miller, who was in Scrubs, Cougar Town, and I believe that she was also in the Drew Carey Show way back in the day.
Oh, that's a throwback.
It is a throwback. So yeah, it's a great cast. They're very funny, very entertaining, great writing, short half-hour comedy, lighthearted, feel-good TV. I love it.
That's great.
But there's another Apple TV show coming out very soon for season 2, which I also like, and I know that you also do. So why don't you talk about it?
I have watched this one. This second TV show is called Silo, and it's based on a series of books. The first season came out, what was it, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago. By the way, Justin, what's going on with TV and these long breaks between seasons?
What is going on with it? I think it has to do with just like heightened expectations for television shows these days, like back in the day. I should say it's not higher expectations, but different expectations. People expect them to be like shorter, but more budget per episode seasons. Like back in the network TV days, it would be like 1/3 of the episodes of a season of whatever drama would be like standalone episodes, like bottle episodes or like something that's completely independent. Whereas now I think after the Netflix phenomenon, it became more just like
Netflixication,
8-hour-long movies. Yeah, like where they would just split it up, right? And I think now we're starting to go back to the old model where now we are actually thinking about this as an art form specific and distinct from movies where it's like, okay, we can actually have standalone episodes. And that's great.
I love that.
But I do think that the budget expectation is still there in TV. Like we still have this expectation of shows looking really good. And it's hard to do that with a year turnover, especially these high concept shows like Silo and like House of the Dragon.
Yeah, that I do understand. But I'm also like, just do it anyway. Figure it out. Make it work, as Tim Gunn famously said.
But let's talk about Silo really quick. So the concept of Silo is basically, it reminds me a little bit of like Westworld or Lost, where there's a central mystery. Essentially, the mystery is that we have this community of people who are living in this underground silo. So it's like a cylindrical structure that's mostly underground. They can see out the window of the silo and they see that it's like a barren wasteland. So this is like kind of post-apocalyptic is the way that this is presented. But in the very first episode of season 1 of Silo, there's a character who brings a bit of mystery into that status quo where they're like, I don't think it's actually a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I think it's like beautiful and fine out there. And we're all just staying in this silo because of like mind control. Like basically we're being brainwashed to think that so that they have control over us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the core tension of the show. And let me tell you, Geoff, this first season of Silo, I was like more hooked to that show than any show maybe since Westworld.
Yeah.
The central mystery is so strong, like the little tidbits that they give you about like what may or may not be true about the outside world.
Oh, they're breadcrumbing us.
It's so good. Rashida Jones is in the first episode of Silo, and she's incredible.
She is great in that show. I wish that she was in it for longer.
Same. Yeah, that's a small spoiler, but you know, show's been out for a couple years now.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson is the main star of the show following episode 1. And Rebecca Ferguson is so bad. She is incredible. She's great in the show. I will say that for me, it dragged a little bit in the middle of season 1 where I was like, okay, but I want some more answers about the outside world. Like, come on, give me the answers. Like I was fiending.
Jones and Four.
But I do think the ending hit for me of season 1.
It did. You know what didn't hit in season 1?
What's that?
Common's acting. Common's acting.
I expect more bad acting from Common in season 2.
Bad acting. I give up the ghost. This is not your calling card in life. Go back to spoken word rapping and black and white music videos. That was your thing.
Yeah, but I'm excited for season 2, despite Common.
I am too, despite him.
I mean, I hope that we get some more answers about, you know, without spoiling the end of season 1, I think we will get some more answers about the outside world in season 2.
I think we will too. I'm very excited about it. Speaking of Rebecca Ferguson, we got another show coming up soon.
We do.
In the world of Dune.
Yes, it is Dune Prophecy, which they had not actually announced the release date for the show until like suspiciously close, which made me a little bit worried about it, but they just announced it a few days ago. It's coming out on November 17th, and I should have mentioned earlier, Silo is coming out on November 15th, so these two shows are coming out right around the same time. Yeah, they just released a new trailer for Dune Prophecy with the release date, and it gave a little bit more background to, I think, what the show is going to be about, which is really like the origins of the Bene Gesserit, which I think are a really interesting organization in the world of Dune.
Oh, the most interesting.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of Dune, I would say.
They're doing a lot of interesting things. It's like they're controlling civilization on a large scale by introducing ideas about like religion and prophecy and stuff like that. Thus the name of the show, I'm assuming. So yeah, I can't wait to watch this one. Geoff, are you excited to watch?
Oh God, yeah. I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be
high production quality. No Rebecca Ferguson as the Reverend Mother, but that's okay. Because the show is set like 10,000 years, I think, before the events of Dune, the movies.
Many years before the films. And it doesn't have as like star-studded a cast. It's like...
yeah, a lot of unknowns.
Relatively few. I think that maybe Mark Strong is the biggest name in the cast.
I don't know her.
Exactly. The star is Emily Watson, who is a British actress. You know, I think it is also like a rare show where we have a lot of older women who are like leading it.
I love that.
I think there's not a ton of shows that have a ensemble cast where it's mostly older women who are the ones who are leading the cast. So I think that's going to be really cool.
Not since Cougar Town.
Yeah, Cougar Town. Underrated show.
It was good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to watch that. I think it's going to be a hit.
I think we will both probably watch Silo and Dune, and I think we have to, you know, we'll decide about whether or not we want to do episodes about them.
And are we going to both watch Shrinking?
As you know, because we just discussed 2 shows that I'm going to be watching, my list is a little bit long, so maybe.
That's not a no point for me. Well, Justin, I think we should also mention very quickly 2 significant passings before we take our quick little break. Do want to mention the passing of Liam Payne. Very sad and evolving situation. We're so sorry for his son, Bear, who's only 7 years old and has lost his dad. And we also need to mention the passing of multiple major award-winning actress Maggie Smith.
Right.
R.I.P. Professor McGonagall and the Dowager Countess of Grantham. He was a real one.
A real OG. Like, legitimately an OG.
Legitimately an OG.
She maintained, you know, just like such an energy even through her later years, which is, I don't know, it's so impressive. She's done a lot of great work. So yeah, rest in peace her, and also Liam Payne, who very sadly passed away earlier this week.
On that sad note, we will be right back.
And we're back. Geoff,
yeah,
we're going to talk about one of our favorite topics on BANTS today. We're going to talk about Charli XCX's Brat.
Qua? Brat again? Why would we talk about Brat again? I'm so confused.
Well, Geoff, Charli XCX recently put out a remix album of her absolutely iconic summer 2024 album, Brat. And it's called Brat, and it's completely different, but also still Brat. What's up, y'all? Editor Justin here. Just wanted to chime in and say that in editing, I realized that we talk a lot about our previous Brat episode in this episode when we talk about the remix album. So if you haven't already listened to that episode, I'm going to put a link in the show notes. It's our, I believe, 8th ever episode, and it's a great one. So if you haven't listened to that one, please listen to it before you listen to this one. All right, let's get back to the pod. We saw kind of a brief teaser of this album with some previously released remixes. We've gotten remixes of 360, Von Dutch, Talk Talk, Guess, and Girl So Confusing prior to the release of this album. There's been much lead up to this, including hyping up the artists who have been featured on the album, including Ariana Grande, Bon Iver. I don't know, just like everybody seems to be on this album. You know, it's wild. Tinashe is on this album. Yeah, Julian Casablancas.
Kesha, 1975.
It's been heavily hyped.
Caroline Polacheck.
I was quite excited to listen to it. Geoff, let's just get right into thoughts, because I think everybody who listens to BANTS knows about Brat. So what are your thoughts about this album, Geoff? Just high level. What are your overall thoughts?
Well, I have been very, averse, I would say, in the past to remixes of albums that artists put out. I think they're usually just kind of like a ploy to get more plays on Billboard, because if you just call a slightly different version of the same song a remix and put it out, it counts as towards the original track count. So it can kind of bolster your numbers up in an artificial way. So generally I'm pretty opposed to them, and I also think that generally they're not very imaginative or interesting. And boy, you could not say that about this album. This was almost aside from a few of the features that were really just an artist recorded a verse to put onto the original track, this was almost a reimagining of the album, and I would say almost a response to the reception and success of the original version of Brat. What do you think, generally speaking?
I think I share my skepticism of remix albums. I think there's two holes or two traps that remix albums can fall into. The first one is that there's a bunch of remixers, like producers, DJs usually, who make remixes of the songs off the album, and they're often so disparate and different in style that it doesn't work as a cohesive work, right? It's not its own thing. It's more for DJs or for people who are super fans who just want to hear different versions of the songs, right? That's one pitfall. The other is, like you said, it's just a commercial ploy. And I think this album is more of as you mentioned, a response to the initial critical and cultural response to Brat, and also an extrapolation of Brat's themes in a way that I was not really expecting. So it also has this really fun energy that I think is common in dance music and also in hip hop, where it's hey, these songs are out, but the themes in these songs are interesting. The songs sonically themselves are interesting. Why don't we just mess with it a little bit more and keep it alive for a little bit longer?
Right.
And people are having fun with it. It reminds me of 2000s era hip hop mixtapes where people would take the beats from other people's songs and rap over them and extrapolate on the themes of the original song, but in their own way, or maybe they may even make a different version of the beat to rap over, right?
Is there an example of that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, for example, when Designer's Panda came out, do you remember that song, Panda, Panda?
Of course I remember.
Every rapper alive rapped over that beat. They put out an unofficial remix of that beat and did their own thing over it, right? That song is not very thematically deep, to be clear. But it has a fun energy, right? And I think that energy is matched in electronic music with remix culture, something that Charli XCX is heavily integrated in and has experience with. So I think that's probably what it's inspired by, is just the way that songs can have a life after their initial release, right? And Yeah, so I love this album, this remix album. I would say as much as I like the original. Like, it actually shocked me how much I liked it. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking about how you were talking about rappers using other beats and making their own versions of it. I was thinking about the Tom Tom Club.
Okay.
How they had that song Genius of Love. Mm-hmm. And then Mariah Carey famously sampled it for her song Fantasy.
Okay.
The Genius of Love and Fantasy are just about, like, the fantasy of falling in love and what that's like. Surrealism, kind of. Like, I'm thinking of Lotto put out that song, Big Dick Energy.
Yeah, yep.
And that kind of, like, fits in thematically as well. It was very, so kind of like the same thing you said.
I will say, I think that, like, I'm not anti-sampling. I think it is trendy right now to sample older songs, or even more trendy, like not so old songs, and turn them into something else.
Yeah.
I do think that often it feels more like a commercial, like, shortcut into becoming a hit. Like all the Nicki Minaj, like Anaconda, for example, from Nicki Minaj. Like, I feel like that's just kind of like, we all know the original song that is sampled in Anaconda.
It's like the fans of the first will probably come for the second.
Right. It's more of just like a novelty thing. I think that, like, what's really interesting about this remix album from Charlie is that a lot of the songs, like, I mean, there are songs where it's literally just the same beat and somebody else is rapping over it. I think those generally are not the strongest songs on the album.
Yep.
That being said, there are many songs on this album where there is, like, a tiny bit of the song that is, like, recontextualized. And the rest of the song is totally different. Like, oftentimes the lyrics are completely different. Like, it doesn't even share a lyric with the old song. It really just is connected to the original song by thematic content, right? I'm thinking of, like, So I, the So I remix, which is a remix by A.G. Cook. There's a tiny bit of shared DNA in the production. Like, I think the synths are sped up and pitched up a little bit, but it's a very different feeling song. It's more of like a rave weapon song, and the lyrics are completely different. Like, Charlie is singing about all the good times that she remembers with Sophie instead of talking about their, like, fraught relationship, which she talked about in the original one.
Now I want to think about all the good times. Me and AG on Mulholland, crazy Uber, straight from a video shoot. Got a birthday cake on the way.
It is maybe not as, like, surprising or interesting as the original, because it is more of a straightforward, like, tribute song where she's like, I'm thinking about all the good times. I think about all the great music you made and, like, how much fun we had together. That's more typical, but I think it is enriched by the existence of the original song. It's like tweaking it a little bit in that she's still remembering Sophie, but in a different way.
Yeah, I really like that song on this album too, because it was a huge departure from the first and sort of like a return to form for this kind of a tribute song or a song in memory of someone. The second iteration of it featuring A.J. Cook is like more of what you would expect a tribute or a memorial song to be about, or to sound like. Well, maybe not sonically, but like to contain.
It is actually really interesting because I think, you're right that I think
I always am.
The new one lyrically is more what you would expect from a tribute song, but I don't think you expect like a dance number from a tribute song, right?
That's why I said not sonically.
It's very energetic and dancey, whereas the original So I is the opposite, where it is a ballad, like in terms of sonically, but in terms of lyrical content, it's way more focused on like these complicated feelings that Charlie has about Sophie.
Exactly.
So it's like the inverse, the coin flip.
What I like about that is that it is almost evocative of real life when you're like ruminating over death, because you definitely do go through phases where you're like confronting the reality of the situation. You can be like regretful and feel it, fixated on like the complex feelings of loss, ineptitude. And then I think you do sort of get to a point where you think of people in their best light after they're gone. And that is sort of what this iteration of So I is like.
And I do really think that this is another thing that makes the album as a whole interesting, is that it's also a progression, right? It's not just talking about more of the same. It's like continuing on the storylines that have been initiated in Brat, right?
Right.
And in the case of So I, it's like maybe the progression of grief. In something more like Sympathy is a Knife, I think it is saying something about the reception to Brat, right? Because I think that the original Sympathy is a Knife was about Charlie feeling insecure comparing to another pop star, whereas the remix is more about like how much pressure you have on you once you've achieved that success.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think about that song?
That was one of the ones where I was like, okay, I get it. It's a feature. It's Ariana Grande. The lyrics are kind of like fine. I wasn't as excited about this song.
I'm kind of surprised to hear that. This is like one of my favorite reinterpretations on the album. And I think that's just because of the way that Ariana and Charlie kind of mixed up the chorus of this song. I would be surprised if this was not on the radio. The new chorus with kind of like the falsetto that Charlie goes into in auto-tune is like really much more catchy and like melodically interesting.
It's so hot right now.
Yeah, it's really cool to me.
It's a knife when, it's a knife when, it's a knife when, I'm a sympathist, it's a knife when, it's a knife when, it's a knife when.
You know, I love original Sympathy is a Knife, don't get me wrong. But this new version just has that like melodic energy to it that is just hooking me. Like, I think I like this one better than the original, if I had to say.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by that. I definitely like the original much more.
What would you say is like a favorite of yours on the album?
I think about it all the time remix.
That is such a banger. We gotta spend
good.
like 20 minutes talking about this song because oh my god. Okay, you start.
That's a lot to build up into. 20 minutes?
Okay, listeners, don't
Justin,
worry.
You're scaring
it's
me.
It's not going to be 20 minutes, I swear.
It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure when you're sitting over here. It's a knife when you put the time frame on the topic.
Okay, not 20 minutes, I swear. It's not 20 minutes.
It's a knife when you put a time frame on the topic. It's a knife. Okay.
But yeah, tell me what you think about the song.
What was I going to say? Oh, firstly, I got to say this. Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie motherfucking Raitt. Everyone listening, if you have not listened to a Bonnie Raitt song in the last year, I really, for real this time, want you to pause the episode. I want you to go into whatever streamer you're listening to us on, and I want you to look up Bonnie Raitt's album, The Best of Bonnie Raitt. That has songs spanning like the first 3 decades of her career, which are the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. She's still making music today, kids. She was actually won Grammy for Album of the Year 2 years ago, I believe it was, or 3 years ago. Can't remember. It was a huge upset, but Bonnie Raitt is one of the goats of American music. Period.
You know who else is a huge fan of Bonnie Raitt?
Bon Iver.
Bon Iver. Famously, he like is obsessed with Bonnie Raitt.
Because she's a songwriting genius. Have you listened to Bonnie Raitt recently, Justin? Aside from in this song?
Only in the context of looking up many of her songs after listening to the interpolation on I Think About It All the Time, which I will always thank Bon Iver and Charlie for doing.
Good for you, Justin. You are putting respect on Bonnie Raitt's name. I'm going to give you 3 points.
Am I winning this episode? Oh my god.
Wait a second. Let's just make it 2.
Okay.
Yeah, don't bring that up again next time if you want to pull it over me. Anyways, my mom loves Bonnie Raitt, and so I grew up listening to Bonnie Raitt, and then I was like, I love Bonnie Raitt. And she has some excellent songs, including the song Nick of Time, which is what is sampled and interpolated on this track, this remix of I Think About It All the Time.
Yeah, there's a direct sample and an interpolation where Charlie is like doing the Bonnie Raitt lyrics.
I found love, baby, but I was scared to run out of time. I think about it all the time.
It's just a great song. I mean, Bon Iver is a great choice for the remix here because this is one of the slower songs. It's one of the more thematically like meaningful songs, and I think there's a lot of themes and topics that Bon Iver covers in his music that overlaps with I Think About It All the Time.
Tell me what those are, because I'm really not very familiar with Bon Iver's music.
Well, he's a lot more, to put like something that sounds pejorative, but I really love Bon Iver, but he does a lot more like kind of sappy family focused things and existential, you know, like what am I doing with my life? Like what am I putting my energy towards type music.
Okay. And that's very much fitting with this
with the themes. Exactly. So I think it fits really well. The choice to have the Bonnie Raitt sample / interpolation on the song is so inspired. I cannot express. Like it fits so well, and it is not sonically the same type of music at all, right?
No, not at all.
But it works so well. And then in terms of the lyrical content of this remix, I mean, it's excellent. Not only does it talk more about the same themes that were in the original song, where Charlie's talking about, I'm running out of time to like do everything that I potentially want to do, right? Like,
right.
Similar to the themes of the previous song. But she's also talking about how there's pressure when you are really churning along in your career and you're having success to keep it going. Like, this is not the time to slow down and start, in the case of Charlie, like, it's not the time to slow down and have kids, right?
Right.
You know, and I think similar to what you talked about in our Brat episode about the original, like, it's emblematic of how millennials feel, like people in their 30s, where it's like, I'm just now getting my career off the ground.
Yeah.
Like, do I really want to slow down and focus on relationships or having kids right now?
Yes, I completely agree with you. And you really I had an epiphany because of what you said. It is wild to me that I didn't ever think of this before, but Charlie is seriously like a millennial archetype pop star.
Yeah.
Like, she has gone underappreciated, doing excellent work without the ability to progress. Is that not so true of most especially younger millennials like us? I mean you, since I'm 29. Is that not the case of pretty much everybody our age?
It's so true.
Like, their work life?
I think it's like we were bound by financial and logistical constraints when we were younger, and so
was Charlie.
Right, exactly. And now that we have finally begun to, I mean, you know, again, everybody's different. I'm generalizing, but like, once we have actually achieved like the career spot that you want to be in, it's like, okay, crap, now I'm like 32.
I'm just hitting my stride.
Like, do I want to now like take my foot off the gas with my career? Like, it feels bad.
Because guess what? We have the Generation Xers and the elder millennials to contend and compete with. And we also have these Gen Zers behind us who are even more savvy with technology and even, well, that's it. And
we love you, Gen Z listeners. We love you.
And we've got those people breathing down our necks and those people trying to build walls in front of us. So now we're going to take our foot off the gas and try to like build a family, and then get back into it in your career and not be afraid of your position. It's pretty wild when you think about it.
It is wild. And it made me like emotionally connect to this song in a similar way to the way that I connected to the original. Like, I just can't believe how well, and again, it is insane to me that this remix album is on par thematically with the original. That is wild. Like, I cannot believe, like, especially when I got to this point of the album.
Remixes usually cheapen it.
Right. It's usually, or like, it's just like, okay, let's mix it up. Well, in terms of production, right? Like, let's mix up the sound of it, not necessarily the content. This song especially is like a great example of like, none of the lyrics are the same.
Yep.
The production is similar, but not the same, right? It's mixed up. It's a variation, and it's extrapolating on the original themes. Like, it is essentially a new song, you know, like it's wild. Yeah.
I love it. And I agree with you. I can't believe quality wise, it's like on par. Maybe I think this one for me is even better than the original, as much as I loved it. It's amazing, and it just shows Bonnie Raitt is that girl and still famous and relevant, 50 years later into her career because she's such a prolific and timeless songwriter.
I'm learning this. Yeah. Underappreciated.
Point for you for learning.
Geoff, you have any other highlights off the album that you want to talk about?
I do. I want to say, of course, I've enjoyed the dance on TikTok. Of course, I enjoy the fruit that inspired the name of the song. And I want to say, I want to own my mistake. One of my mistakes with this album. In saying earlier that Apple was like the weakest song on the original. I think that actually still holds true, but I think I should not have used the word weak because this remix is even better.
You like the Japanese house remix of Apple.
I really like it. And this is a song where it sounds like not entirely different. There, you can really see the DNA of the original in this song. So this is not what I would consider like a full reimagine. Well, no, that's not true. Some of the songs sonically, they're on the remix, are a complete reimagining, complete departure from the original.
Right.
This is not one of them. The DNA sonically is quite evident. The depth of the song and the meaning that I think that listeners relate to is even stronger in this song. And it was just a few lyrical changes. It wasn't like lyrically they completely turned things upside down in this song. But the Japanese house's lyrics on this song, their verse, was really poignant. And I think really made the depth of the song better. I think all people our age have I think we talked about this one time before already on the pod, but we had like the realization, like probably when we're like in our late teens or early 20s, that our parents don't have all the answers and that they're just as flawed as we are. And I think by the time you're in your mid 20s, you start to also recognize like patterns of behavior and dynamics that are in your family. And I think the Japanese house's lyrics on this version, this remix of Apple, really speak to that in a way that is like slightly more clear than the lyrics did originally. They were a little bit more vague, and it was like a high concept in the original Apple, and then the lyrics that the Japanese house adds really kind of
bring it a little bit more to relatable territory.
Yeah, it's more applicable. I think it's like patterns of behavior that with your parents and your families that like you can recognize and be like, oh yeah, this always annoys me. I don't know why. I don't try to change things, so I'm just gonna peace out of here.
I ignore you when I see you calling, 'cause I know here's something I might regret.
Yeah. I think this one lands somewhere in the middle for me with this remix album, because
Maren Morrison said,
I stand by saying that Apple is the weakest link in the original Brat, because it's not that it's a bad song independently. As we've all seen on TikTok, like it can do well independently, right? It's very catchy. It's a cute song. Yeah. But I think that in the context of Brat, it sticks out like a sore thumb. And I think that the remix is better because it does sound like a Japanese house song. Like, I think I said that it sounds like a 1975 song on the original
You did
episode.
Say that.
But 1975 and Japanese house share a producer, right? Like, George Daniel produced the most recent Japanese house record. He also produced Apple, and he produced this remix.
Not so different, you and I.
Yeah. So I think it does work a lot better with Japanese house as like the lead on the vocals.
I agree. And that was interesting too.
It was interesting, yeah. I think that like in terms of the production style of the beat underneath the lyrics, it's much like smoother, a little bit less like minimalist in its style. It's a little bit more organic sounding, which again matches the Japanese house more than it matches Charlie. So I do think that this matches the artist a little bit better than the original Apple did. So this is one of the ones where I feel like it's maybe a little bit better than the original, even though it lands, the original was not my favorite song off Brat. So
yeah, when I said that was interesting, just in case I wasn't clear to the listeners or to you, what I was saying was super interesting about that was that it was a choice to make the Japanese house the main vocalist on this record and have Charlie basically doing like backup.
There's a few songs like that on this one. Let me talk about another one of those, which is...
No, I won't. I'm not letting you talk about it.
Which is... I think you probably like this one too, Geoff.
Which is... Sisters!
Everything is Romantic, which is with, of course, Caroline Polacheck.
Yes, this one is one of my favorite. I think this one is my favorite on the album.
Yeah, this one's your favorite, absolutely. All right, you talk about it then. You talk about it.
No. You talk about it. I want to hear what you say.
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about this one. The original one was talking about like these very picturesque scenes in Greece, right? Charlie saying everything is romantic, and then it transitions from this like orchestral beat to like this hardcore techno beat. This remix featuring Caroline Polacheck is a lot more low-key, both production-wise and also in terms of the lyrics. The lyrics are a little bit more melancholy.
Very.
Because it's kind of like Caroline Polacheck talking about her day-to-day in London and how everything is so romantic there, right? There's a lot of like really iconic lines in this remix. Like one of them is like free bleeding
in the autumn rain.
A great line. And it's not like romantic immediately the same way that like Pompeii in the Distance is, right? In the original, or Jesus Christ on a Plastic Sign. It's a little bit more melancholy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she's trying to convince herself like this is romantic. Like it's finding romantic. It in my everyday life. And she also has this kind of simulated phone call with Charlie where she's like, Charlie calls me from Tokyo and she's hungover.
Yep.
And Charlie is asking her like, hey, I just recorded the music video for Von Dutch, like, but I'm stressed out. Like, I'm tired. I'm hungover. Like, I'm stressed out. And Caroline's like, living that life is romantic, right? Like, it's an open question. And I think that it's an interesting twist on the themes of the original. And, oh my God, sonically, like, Caroline Polacheck's voice is so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, she does these insane, like, scales, or I don't know what the right term is.
Arpeggios?
Yeah, arpeggios or something. Towards the end of the song over this like Jersey club beat.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's gorgeous. I'm like,
it's very ethereal.
I don't know how she makes these noises. Like, it's beautiful.
Well, Caroline Polacheck is like an underrated highly skilled vocalist, the agility that she has and the control of her voice and the range that she has a very large range. I don't know if you've ever, I mean, you like Caroline Polacheck, so you know. But she can sing, like, I think, like, her highest is, like, a B6. That is extremely high. That's, like, whistle tones. And she can also sing down in, like, the middle Cs.
I think she's classically trained. Like, I think she was trained as an opera singer.
Oh, really?
Transitioned to pop, yeah.
I never knew that.
I think so.
That would make a lot of sense, then. That would make a lot of sense. She has a beautiful voice. There was a video recently on TikTok, I think. Somebody was asking how she did an effect on a song, and she's like, I didn't. That was my voice. And the guy was like, bullshit.
How?
Yeah, and then she just did it. And it was... I watched that video, I would say 5 to 6 times, because I was like, whoa, that is crazy what you're able to do with your voice. We're a Caroline Stan podcast as well.
We are, yeah. Yeah, this song is just so good. I'm shocked every time that I hear her do something new with her voice. Yeah, it's wild. And I think that her and Charlie, like, they have, obviously I don't know them, but, like, they have the dynamic on this song of feeling like genuine friends.
Right.
As you would call somebody when you're hungover and feeling, like, depressed or lonely, like, having that anxiety. Just to be like,
yep,
what's up? How you doing? Like, can you give me a little bit of serotonin on this fine Tokyo morning?
Exactly. Yeah, and something that you spoke about earlier was that the way that this song is so wistful and, well, you said melancholy already, but the tone of the song is just really beautiful, and it's really interesting to observe as a listener that, like, in the moment where they have this phone call in the song, like, they are longing for each other's lives.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, you don't agree?
Sorry. No, I absolutely do agree. I was just looking up to confirm that she is trained in opera.
I'm so glad that disengaged you from my conversation.
Very sorry. Do you want to...
I hope you feel very smart now.
Do you want to repeat?
Do you feel very smart and informed now?
I just wanted to do a fact check in case I was wrong, which...
Were you wrong?
Basically, she did work with a trained opera singer early in her career. She wasn't like...
You're getting a yellow. You're getting a yellow on this one.
A yellow card? Okay.
Well, no, it's not a yellow card. It's just like, you know, when you're sure of something, you say green. I'm green dot on this. I'm yellow dot on this.
Yep.
Red dot is like, who knows? I could be making it up right now.
She did work with an opera trainer when she was early on in her career, but she was never she was not like training at Juilliard as an opera singer. That's what I found.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so you were not right.
A little bit of clarification there.
Point for me.
Point for Geoff.
Point for me.
We've talked a lot about our favorites here. Before we move on, there's a lot of strengths, obviously, on this album. Are there any...
There's a lot of rules, too.
Are there any other songs, any strengths off the album that you want to talk about?
I mean, we've already talked about it, but the Girl So Confusing remix is excellent.
A banger.
Pop excellence, I would say.
Yeah.
Record of the year, song of the year, potentially.
That's one where the production is exactly the same. But I do think that the added verse from Lord does add thematically to the song in an interesting way.
Yeah, some depth.
And it's a progression, as we mentioned.
Yeah, and it's a much more interesting remix verse than many out there.
I'll also quickly shout out the remixes of Club Classics, which is the George Daniel remix featuring Baby Trix, who you might recall I did not know who she was. Let me tell you, that song, it fucking rules. It's a rave weapon. And Baby Trix's verse is fucking iconic.
Rave weapon. It's the second time you've used it today, and the second time I've heard you use it in my life. I need you to tell me. Let's break it down real quick.
A rave weapon is like a MP3 that you have on your USB when you show up to the rave as a DJ, and you're like, if the party is not going off, you drop like it's a weapon to drop in the rave. Yeah.
Now I can understand.
It's a banger. Baby Trix's verse is incredible.
BBXX es un clásico automático. Fashion killer, aunque el outfit sea básico. Yo soy un abrazo aunque no tenga nada de plástico. Bounce like Obi es un fanático.
I've already seen a lot of great Instagram reels and TikToks where people are lip syncing the verse, and it's great. It has a lot of energy to it. And then of course the 365 remix featuring Shy Girl, which is like, again, club banger. It's hard. I think that like the Club Classics remix is a little bit more like classy feeling, even though it does have rave energy towards the back half. The 365 remix is just like, we're dying tonight. Like, we are going so hard tonight. You don't even know. Like, it is. Yeah. It takes the original 365 energy and just brings it up even higher, which I didn't even think was possible. So it's great to have that again. the juxtaposition between the I Think About It All the Time remix featuring Bon Iver and then the fucking 365 remix, which is like,
right,
it's a hard dance song, is incredible. It's great.
Justin, what about Shy Girl? What about Shy Girl, Justin? What about Shy Girl? Shy Girl.
What do you think about Shy Girl, Geoff?
Shy Girl. I thought that her verse was great on this song. I also love the 365 remix. I also love Shy Girl's red wig. Mm-hmm. It looks good on her. She's really pulling it off. Snap congrats for Shy Girl. But aside from Shy Girl, I want to talk about one other track that we didn't mention yet. Justin, what about B2B?
With Tinashe.
What about that?
Gilly, previous guest host of the show, who guest hosted our Brat episode, she asked me, what's the biggest differential from, like, the biggest increase in quality from the original Brat to the remix album? And I had to think about it a lot because I think most of the songs that I didn't like too much in the original Brat, I also didn't really like the remix that much.
Yep.
But I think my answer is B2B. Because when I re-listen to Brat, the original, right now, I think B2B is one of those ones that it's very forgotten about.
Yes.
It's not different enough from the other songs, but it's also not in a good or bad way, right? So it kind of languishes on the original album. And I think I think that the remix is an interesting twist because it takes like the romantic lyrical content of the first one and turns it into being like a workaholic, basically.
Right, exactly.
It's like I'm doing all these things back to back to back. And it switches up the production to make it a lot more kind of like, I mean, the tempo is faster. The original one is kind of like a techno song with like BPMs probably like 110. It's produced by Jess Affelstein, who's like well known for those lower tempo techno songs. This new one is a lot more snappy. It's a lot more fast, which I think is trendy right now, and at least for me hooks my ear a little bit more. So
me too.
Look at me now, better than before. They wanna be like me, can't even blame them for.
This is probably the one that has the biggest differential from the original album to the remix album for me. So I do like it. What do you think of it?
I feel very much the same way about you. I mean, I feel...
Thanks, Geoff.
This recording, Justin, you weren't here, and now you're up here. How about that? Good job. Okay. Keep up work like this. Okay. I feel very much the same as you do about this remix. I think that it really was additive in value to the album. I love Tinashe, and it's so fun for the OG Angels, which I'm not actually, but I want to pretend that I am for the sake of this conversation. One of the OG Angels to see her working with Tinashe again. Ooh, loved it.
Tinashe. What did you say about Tinashe in the previous episode? The girls who get it.
And the girls who don't, Gort.
Exactly.
So that was it.
Let's talk about maybe a more uncomfortable question, which is like songs that you maybe didn't like that much off the album. Let's talk about that. What's your least favorite here?
Well, I think I already told you, but the Sympathy is a Knife remix.
That's your least favorite on the whole album?
I think it is.
That is wild to me. Okay. I think that there are kind of like two categories of songs that I don't like here.
Okay. Oh, wait, I lied. I'm so sorry. I just remembered another song that
I think I know which one you're going to say.
Much that I think I know. Forget it.
You blacked out from your memory. I think I know what you're going to say. Okay, but let me finish my thing.
Do your show.
I think there are two different kinds of songs that I don't like. The first one is ones that just feel kind of lazy. And I think one that's in the category of this is like the 360 remix, where it's like exact same beat, have some features on it, didn't really add that much thematically to the song.
Which was a bummer because I love Robin. I am an OG Robin fan. So I was a little bit bummed that this was what the end result of their collaboration was.
I do appreciate the Robin feature, and I do have sympathy for this because I think that remix probably was recorded and developed prior to Brat's like major like success.
Yeah.
They couldn't have known that the demand for like a Brat remix album would be as high as it was. And I think they were just kind of like, let's just put this out there. It'll be fun. It'll boost 360.
Yeah. That's
fine. That being said, it's not a standout of the album for me. Another one that falls into this category is, very unfortunately, because I'm a huge fan, the Spring Breakers remix featuring Kesha.
Oh, wow.
I think that it's exactly the same beat, no change in production, and Kesha's verse is fine, but it did not really add anything thematically to the song. So
yeah. Okay, I think that's fair.
I think it's perfectly fine, but it's like compared to the rest of the album, which the bar is very high for, not my fave.
I have to agree.
And then unfortunately, there are also remixes that do change up the song in a considerable way and change the lyrical content in the song.
And they're still
and
bad.
It's just bad. And it's just
and
bad.
It's really bad.
And I'm sorry to Gilly because she really is a fan of this artist. And she told me so in text message form. But the Mean Girls remix featuring Julian Casablancas is so not good. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, that song alone, I think, is kind of tanking this album for me in a way that I would otherwise say, like, I like it as much as Brat, or maybe even potentially more than Brat, like the original. But I just don't even really know what's going on. Is this the one you were thinking of, Geoff?
This is not.
What? Which one? Okay, well, first tell me about your thoughts about Mean Girls remix, and then we can go on to your least favorite.
This one I have also skipped. Like, on subsequent re-listens, I've been like, nope, don't need to do that. The thing that they do on the chorus of Mean Girls, when she says girls.
Yeah.
My mean girls. I hate it. It hits my ear in a really bad way. It's like trying to use like a diamond-shaped butt plug. Like, that's not good.
Doesn't belong in there.
That's
doesn't
not
belong
for
in
that.
there.
By the way, when I said diamond shape, I was picturing like, you know, like a diamond ring with all the facets on it.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad we checked in about that.
The cool part about Mean Girls was the switch up to the organic, like the piano riff, right?
Oh yeah, that was not good.
Instead, they just have the piano riff going the whole time, so it's like this is just the song now.
Yeah, which wasn't good because
takes away the energy.
Yeah, and that was like you said, it was like that funky "we're gonna get weird now" dance breakdown.
Instead, it's just weird from the beginning.
Exactly. It's jarring. It's cacophonous.
In the same vein, Julian Casablancas on autotune sounds like garbage. Like his voice does not suit autotune the same way that Charlie's or Kesha's does, right? Like, it's tough. And then lyrically, Julian Casablancas is completely inverting the Mean Girls meaning. Instead of like celebrating Mean Girls and being like, you can be a mean girl, like just be honest and true to yourself. Julian Casablancas is talking about having a partner who is like abusive to him, basically.
Such a weird take.
I'm not saying it's not a thing that happens.
Domestic abuse doesn't know gender.
It's a very legitimate thing to discuss, but like on Brat,
that's
on a Charlie XCX album, is that what we're going to talk about?
The energy was not it.
Yeah, it just felt like a really weird thematic choice for the song. Yeah, it just didn't click for me in like any way. That was a really tough one for me. But you talked about a song that you really hated, and I'd love to know what that is.
Well, Justin is a huge fan of this artist. I know I will disappoint you.
Oh, okay. We can talk about this.
What is the name of the song? I'm blanking on it.
I Might Say Something Stupid.
I Might Say Something Stupid featuring the 1975. This one was really tough for me. It just sounded like Maddie Healy's like normal drug addiction sad song. Like the melancholy classic ballad of Maddie Healy. It was not it.
I do disagree with you in that I like this song, but I do understand exactly why you don't like it. Because I do agree, it's basically a 1975 song.
Yeah.
It's basically a 1975
song. It is, period. The Charlie of it is all gone. I like literally had to listen twice to hear her on the track at all. I was like, where is she?
She's on like background vocals at the end.
Hello, Charlie. Hello.
And he interpolates the original a little bit in the main chorus.
Hello. Are you home? That's what I said.
The difference for me between this and like the Mean Girls remix, though, is that at least production-wise, it's a beautiful song. It's ambient, you know. It's also got John Hopkins on it, who is a incredible John Hopkins.
Who?
We talked to. Are you being sarcastic? I can't tell.
Yeah, because where was he on that song? I didn't hear him.
He's a producer, so he did the production. He's an ambient music guy, so like he did the production on the song. It sounds very beautiful. The piano on it is very sparse and stark.
I didn't understand that he was, because it's like featuring 1975 and Julian Casablancas. Cowabunga? What's his name? Casablanca?
John Hopkins. Julian Casablancas is the guy on Mean Girls.
Oh shit. Well, oh damn.
Cowabunga.
Well, you were looking at me like I was crazy. I'm like, oh, okay, I got the name totally wrong. I'm like, what else sounds like that I could have mistaken it for?
But yeah, I will acknowledge, like, it sounds beautiful. I like that part of it. And I think I am also biased because I am a 1975 fan.
You're a stan, I would say.
I am also a Matty Healy apologist in many ways.
If Matty Healy and your mom were stuck in a burning building, and you could only save one.
Oh, I'd pick my mom. Are you kidding me? Come on. I'm not that much of an apologist.
I just didn't want to. I wanted to make sure.
I think he's obviously like troubled. Do I think that he's like Kanye level bad person at this point? Like, I don't know him. He could be, but at this point, I don't think that he is. Like, I think he's not at that level.
He's just a knucklehead.
He's just an idiot. Like,
he's
he really is.
Well.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I do think that he is making a genuine effort to like be a better person, unlike Kanye, who's just turned into like, instead of trying, I'm just going to say fuck you and be more provocative like every chance I get, right? I don't think Matty is quite there yet. I think he just has like impulses that he has poor control over.
Right.
I'm an apologist though, so I totally get that critique because it really is just a 1975 song. Like, it sounds like one, lyrically it is one. And if you don't like the 1975, you probably won't like it. And it's also like one of the more insufferable 1975 songs.
Yes.
Because he just talks about like, I guess I'll just rot in my apartment in LA. And it's like, Matty,
no one feels bad for you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
Pretty fucking bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to love it. I was ready for it. You know what I thought would have been a fun, not like idea, but like the sound of it?
Mm-hmm.
You know that 1975 song, She's American, which is one of my favorites?
Yeah.
Tell me, in 1975 world, is that like a commonly favorite song?
It is a favorite, especially among the women fans, I will say.
Okay.
Yeah.
They think that she's the girl they're singing about, the American.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Interesting. It's like Brown Eyed Girl. Brown Eyed Women love that song. They've got a corner on that market.
They do, yeah. They love that song.
Anyway, I would have loved like a song that sounded like that from them. That from the 1975 and Charlie. Like, that would have been an interesting sound for them to collaborate on.
I do think as soon as I saw that they were on I Might Say Something Stupid, I was like, this is going to be a sad boy song.
Yeah.
Like this, because like Matty famously
says
thing. Stupid shit. Yeah, he says stupid shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. That was so funny. We said next.
Just to recap my thoughts on the album, we've talked about this a lot, but it is transformative of the original one in a way that is so interesting for a remix album. And it really just like solidifies in my mind that the original is great. I think that like we had been so exposed to it that I was starting to like think like, was it really that good? And then I listened to this remix album and I was like, it was that good.
Yeah.
Charlie is that girl, and she should win Album of the Year at the Grammys. Like, this cemented it in my mind.
I completely agree with that sentiment. I think that this is going to forever be like on the 100 greatest albums of all time list. I think it will forever fall somewhere on that list. Marking it now. This is going to be like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill of our generation, I would say.
Oh shit, you think that much critical acclaim? That's wild. Yeah. Okay.
And I think deserved. I'm talking the original version of Brat, by the way.
Yeah, of course, the original version, yeah. Something that's interesting about the release of this remix album is that it also contained the original Brat after the remixes.
Right.
And for that reason, it is contributing to Brat's chart performance.
Yep.
And it has already hit number 1 in the British charts, which, remember, in our original Brat episode, we had a long conversation about how Taylor Swift had allegedly maybe blocked Charlie from getting number 1 in the UK. This time, she was not able to or didn't care to, so Charlie has hit number 1. In the US, she's in a very tight race with the Jelly Roll squad.
For fuck's sake.
For number 1.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I think that she has a really strong chance of doing it in the US, too. Yes.
Come on. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
What's up, y'all? Editor Justin here. Just wanted to pop in and say that after recording, the Billboard charts did release from this past week, and Charlie did not get number 1. She actually finished number 3 on the album charts behind Jelly Roll, who got number 1, and Rod Wave, who got number 2. This guy, Rod Wave, I've never even heard of before, but apparently he is a pretty popular rapper. Yeah, so a bit of a bummer for Geoff and I and fellow angels everywhere. But let's get back to the pod. So you do think that Brat will win at the Grammys for Album of the Year?
Oh, man. Well, this is also hard because between now and when we actually get close to the Grammys, I could change my mind.
Well, right now, at this moment.
In my mind, I would say it is hers to lose.
I agree with that for sure. There's a lot of strong competition. I'm sure we'll talk about that when they announce the Grammy nominations very soon.
Very soon. It should be, I think, the week after the election.
Yeah, early November.
The election! We can't go there. We can't go there. Everybody needs to get out and register to vote. Vote early if you're able to, where you're listening. If you're in les États-Unis, the United States of America. If you are a foreign person, please pray for us. And, we could use some more of your smarts. So if any of you are interested in repopulating areas of the United States,
I know that one candidate is very anti-immigrant, but please immigrate.
Oh my God. What's happening to our country? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but seriously, please vote.
Gotta keep the faith, like Obama says, and George Michael famously sang about.
If you're one of the 10 people in the United States who's undecided right now, please decide.
Yeah.
And with that, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some What's Goods.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
We are back.
And we've talked about a lot of things this episode. We talked about the writing of Body Rate.
We have.
The adoration of Bon Iver.
We love Bon Iver.
The adoration of Caroline Polacheck and her amazing vocal agility and ability.
Love those pipes.
Of course, we discussed Brat and Charlie XCX's world domination, one might say.
And we will not be declaring a moratorium on that conversation.
Absolutely not. Forget about that, if that was your hope. You said 3 episodes of Brat, and we said yeah, and not enough.
We said we will be having another one when she inevitably wins the Grammy.
But now's the time of the podcast where I like to ask you a little question, Justin.
That's right.
And that question is, Justin, what's good?
Well, Geoff, a lot has been good this week.
So much.
I'm a little bit torn on what to pick here, but...
Natalie Imbruglia.
Just like Natalie Imbruglia, I think that I will go with a video game.
Ooh. We haven't heard about a video game since Pokemon.
Exactly. And I think it's about time because I've really been enjoying one. I've been playing a video game called Grounded with my friend Sean. And Sean lives in Connecticut. He is somebody who I love to connect with, so we have kind of like a game night. Usually on Sundays, or I guess it's more of a game day, but like early afternoon, we get together, we play online this game called Grounded. And Grounded is a survival game, which if you're not like familiar with the genre, it's a type of game where basically you're placed into this environment and you're basically have no resources. You have like no armor, no weapons, like no food or water. And the goal of the game is largely to like stay alive.
Okay.
To do so, you have to like find a way to purify the water that's all around you, or find a way to kill the wildlife so that you can eat them.
I've seen this.
And then over a period of time, you get more and more advanced where it's like, okay, you can kill like the squirrels or whatever, the low level enemies, but how do you kill like the bears? And you can maybe like use the materials you get from the lower tier enemies to make weapons and armor so that you can, get at the bigger enemies. I usually don't like this type of game. And the reason why is because it's not very plot heavy. There's not a lot to drive me forward in the game. And then also it doesn't usually do a very good job of signposting what you are supposed to do, right?
Yep.
There's nobody telling you like, hey, if you want to kill that bear, here's the exact ingredients you need to do it. It's kind of just like you either got to look for it online, which is like hot take about games. Like if you have to look something up on Google to like play a game properly, it's poorly designed. It should be signposted in the game.
Yep.
Survival games are horrible at that. This game, Grounded, is actually, I would say, the exception to that.
In what way?
Well, in terms of plot and just like general aesthetic, it has a lot in common with like Stranger Things, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Back to the Future. Okay. It has that like late 80s, early 90s like home video energy.
That's cool.
The premise is that you are a kid who has been mysteriously shrunk down to like near microscopic size, and you are stranded in a stranger's yard. So like all of the enemies are bugs. So like you have to fight, like the scariest enemies in the game are like wolf spiders and black widow spiders.
Ah, those are so scary even when you're big.
They're like 10 or 12 times the size of you as the player. So they're terrifying, and in the early game when you come across one, you're just like, I'm fucking out. I cannot beat this guy. Like, there's no way. And it's scary. But you also find like ladybugs, which are very peaceful and they don't attack you, or like mites, which are like the size of dogs, basically. And they're pretty easy to defeat, but they're a little scary when they're big, And basically like the plot of the game is essentially figuring out how you got shrunk and how to make yourself bigger again. And you come across a lot of really interesting characters, like a mad scientist character, a robot assistant character who has like a spatula for a hand, a la SpongeBob, almost. They're the
ravioli. Oh, the hash slinging slasher. I thought you were talking about Robo Crabs.
I mean, both, right? Yeah, so it's really like has this light and fun energy and aesthetic because of those like cultural touchstones that it pulls from. And it also has this driving plot where like every time that you need to do something, it's clearly signposted. It's like you need to go over here to this area and clear it out to find this specific thing. And that's something that I don't usually find present in a lot of survival games.
This reminds me of when we talked about Pokemon.
Yeah, like in today's day and age, like Pokemon is really good at signposting those things, but like I cannot go back. Yeah. Right? I need people to tell me what
Kamala
I gotta
Harris,
do if I'm not familiar.
We will not go back.
That's right. So I've been having a great time playing this with Sean. I haven't beaten the game yet, but we're getting close, and I'm at the level now where we're fighting like pretty high level bugs, right? Like Sean and I just beat a Black Widow boss recently. That was like really tough. Yeah, it's really cool because you can feel yourself progressing, and that feeling of progression, that feeling of like delayed gratification where you can't defeat something early on, but you can later through just like perseverance and hard work, quote unquote, in the game is satisfying. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it even if you're not somebody who's into those types of games. It's called Grounded. It's an Xbox game. It's produced by Microsoft. The specific developer is Obsidian, who's like very well known for doing really good RPGs, and this was kind of like a genre switch for them. So they did an excellent job. It's on Game Pass if you subscribe to that. It's also on Switch.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about Game Pass because I need to understand how this works better?
Yeah, so Game Pass is a service that's provided by Xbox. And I guess it's provided by Microsoft, which is the parent company of Xbox.
Of course.
And it's basically, the short, easy pitch is that it's Netflix for games. So basically you pay like a certain amount of money a month, and you have access to like a library of games as long as you keep paying that subscription fee.
Okay.
Most Xbox first-party games, meaning games that are developed in-house at Xbox, are available on the subscription service. And the idea is that like, if you want to play Halo, is it cheaper to buy it for $70 or is it cheaper to pay like $15 a month and beat the game, and then maybe you can switch to another game, right? If you play enough video games, it makes it worth it in the long run.
So.
The problem is that it's not, we could have a whole conversation about this, but it's not the best business model for games because a movie or something takes like 2 hours to watch. A TV show takes like 10 to 12 hours to watch. A video game often takes like, we're talking in the dozens of hours to complete.
Right.
The value proposition for something like Game Pass is not immediately obvious for like the average gamer who doesn't play like more than one game a month. But if you are like an avid gamer, it's a pretty good deal.
Thank you for explaining that. Always wondered. Given
so, Geoff,
old Netflix vibes. Yes. I'm very on task.
We've had a great episode today.
Well, I think so.
I'm so happy that we're continuing our winning streak of Brat episodes. What's good with you this week?
Well, as always, a lot is good with me this week.
As always.
But I do want to talk about one thing. What about shit ass?
What are you talking? I don't know what this
is. What about
is
shit
this
ass?
A real thing? I don't know what shit ass is.
It's okay. Let's not actually talk about that.
Is that a meme?
Never mind. All right, here's what we need to talk about for real. We got to talk about CupcakKe supremacy.
CupcakKe. I heard that you may have seen CupcakKe in person recently. Is that true?
I most certainly did, and I have to tell you, she was so much fun. It was a great show. I went to see her at the iconic venue Toad's Place.
Iconic.
I had never been there. This is my first show at Toad's Place. I was supposed to go see Iggy Azalea there years and years ago, but she canceled the tour, or at least that show. We did get a refund, in case you were wondering.
Okay, well,
Of course I did.
no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul. Appreciate the heads up, you know? You know, isn't talked about enough.
What?
Iggy Azalea's quote-unquote freestyle rap. Tie a mock. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. There was like a period of Iggy Azalea discourse, and now she's just fully irrelevant.
Tie a mock. I want you to look it up. Anyone who has not seen anyone,
We'll put a link in the show notes.
we're gonna put a link in the show notes.
Iggy Azalea is tough. We should have known immediately, honestly.
Master.
Yeah.
What they doing on a runaway train?
Oh God.
It's so crazy. I love it though. I love the audacity.
How long ago was it that you were gonna see Iggy Azalea? Because like depending on the year,
years at least.
like fancy era.
Like we're talking walk a mile in these Louboutins.
Yeah.
What year was that? Like 2015.
Wasn't that called Work?
14?
Is that the name of that song?
I can't remember. Fancy. Charlie should have gotten her due then. Anyway, CupcakKe. The show is great. A really cool local rapper from New Haven, Snosa, opened for her.
We love local music. We love supporting local music.
We do. And one of the things that I really loved about Snosa was that her whole family was involved. She's this very small woman, young girl, smart girl, funny girl, charismatic girl. But she had her 13-year-old cousin was her DJ, and he was so good.
Oh, damn.
It was shocking, like, how good he was.
That's awesome.
And her cousins were there, like, filming her. Her sister, her mom was there. It was very sweet. And, like, one of her best friends from New Haven was there in the audience in the front. It was so cool. Loved it. Good for her.
That's great. That sounds super fun.
Anyways, then CupcakKe performed. She was great.
Can we get, like, a quick background on who CupcakKe is, just for the listeners?
Sure. I can talk a little bit about CupcakKe. She has blown up over the last couple of years, especially on TikTok. There are all kinds of CupcakKe remixes. CupcakKe songs are pretty graphic, explicit.
Raunchy, I would say.
Raunchy.
Yeah.
Horny.
Yeah.
Very much horny vibes. Horny, raunchy vibes. But they're also very funny. Like, she's, like, very unserious, but she's a great entertainer and rapper. So if you're looking for depth, you're not going to find it in CupcakKe's music, but if you're looking for a good time or to actually laugh out loud while you're listening to songs, CupcakKe is it. But she was great. She came right from the airport. She said they lost her bags.
Oh, no.
She came out in what I would describe as like a Party City wig, which she kept laughing about because it was sliding all over her head. And she eventually was like, I'm just going to put this here. And she put her sweat towel on top of her head for like half of the concert.
Oh my God.
It was so funny. But you know what? She came out there without glam, without her real outfits, and without her normal performance grade hair. And she put on a great show. It was so fun. I think she did like 75 or 80 minutes. The audience interaction was excellent. And I have to say, the people who went to her concert were very young.
Yeah.
A lot of them
TikTok.
were Yaleys.
Yep.
A lot of them were from Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven. Very TikTok vibes. I felt like an old man, but I still had a great time.
Yeah, just to give listeners an idea of her discography. A couple of song names here. Vagina.
My vagina.
Squidward Nose.
That song is great, and one of the ones that I was talking about that's so funny. She talks about how she's gonna like have sex with this guy whose dingling is smaller than her toes. And she's like, I'd rather ride Squidward's nose.
Another song title. H2Ho.
Oh.
I mean, she's an entertainer, you know, like, are you not entertained? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I'm so entertained. She did a great show.
Great. She's great.
And she was talking about how young everyone in the audience is. And she panned over to me and my friends who I went with. And she said, we're all the same age. And then she like pointed right next to the stage. And then like we were like invited to go up there. It was cute.
That's great.
Also I want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that were like at the concert, she has a song called Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Or well, actually, I don't know if it's called Little Red Riding Hood or if that's just like a prominent lyric in the song. But it is so funny. People come to the concert dressed up as characters from Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, so the name of the song is Little Red Riding Good.
Yeah, Little Red Riding Good. That's right.
Yep.
Sorry. but they came dressed up as a big bad wolf. One very tall person came dressed up as a Little Red Riding Hood, which was so funny because of their sheer size. A very tall person.
Uh-huh.
And then another dude came dressed as Lord Farquaad. And all of these people were invited on stage. And so was this one mom who was so cute. She was there with her daughter. And she was so decked out and glammed up. She was not a skilled dancer. She was for sure the oldest person in the room, but she was having a great time, and CupcakKe loved her and invited her on stage.
This is a great lesson to those who are self-conscious about going to concerts like this.
Yeah!
Just get into it, and it's fun.
Get into it, and it's so fun, and sometimes CupcakKe will invite you on stage to have a twerk-off with the other characters dressed up as Fairy Tail.
Oh my god, you know how I was talking about how Panda was, like, endlessly remixed by people when it first came out? CupcakKe did a remix of Panda.
CupcakKe.
Yeah.
Of course she did. Anyway, I've droned on about this, but CupcakKe was a fucking vibe. Her songs are so funny, and if you ever get the chance to see CupcakKe in person, I would say you need to go. Money well spent.
Toast Place feels like it's the perfect venue for this kind of show. Like,
oh yeah,
it's very feels kind of like, if I remember correctly, a dive bar type energy. Yeah,
it feels like college dive bar kind of.
Right, great venue.
Just to give some more context to those not familiar with this storied hall. As soon as we were closing, there was an 18+ glow stick party night. So, after CupcakKe, you can stay for this. I said, no, thank you.
You were like, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. Jeff, this has been a super fun episode of BANTS.
This has been super fun. I gotta say, even though it's been a long time, it just, flew by. The only time I know it's long is because of the time on the screen.
That's exactly right.
But, when you're having fun, time flies by. On that note.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been BANTS with Geoff, that's me, and Justin. BANTS is created and produced by me and Justin Benavidez. Graphic design by me and editing by Justin Benavidez. The theme music for BANTS is the track Time With You by Tala featuring Rule, and that's spelled RVLE, and is provided by No Copyright Sounds. Email us at bantspod@gmail.com with any questions, recommendations, or just to say hi. If you like the podcast, rate and review us on Apple or Spotify, and tell your friends. Bye.
Bye.
Shop new arrivals. Let's look at sofas we can't afford. Look, Bubba, this one's only $3,800. Oh, I'm sorry. $4,299. We have that in the bank, right? Oh my god, to get a bench seat, you have to fucking pay more. You're using less fabric. It just doesn't make sense. Oh god. It makes 0 sense. 0 cents. It makes 0 sense.
All right. You ready to go with the what's goods?
Oh, yes, baby. Except you gotta go first because I don't know yet what I'm picking.